hace para quitar ese?
Chris is probably here. Chris, are you there? Okay.
Hey guys, welcome to our Saddlebrooke Live. Bear with us for just a minute. As you can see, I am not Zeke. He's much better looking, with his cool glasses and his really cool hat. I'm not near as cool as Zeke is today, but I'm going to be trying to fill in for some very big shoes tonight, and I'm going to bring you some information. I'm Lacey Morgan, and I am the Chief Operations Officer here at Saddlebrooke, the modular home factory. And I'm going to be answering some questions tonight. I'm going to be talking about some of the more technical sides of what it looks like to work with us, and whether you're buying a house directly as a consumer or whether you're an investor thinking about maybe buying multiple houses or developing, or maybe you're a builder and you're like, I've been a general contractor for a long time and I'd love to order houses from you directly. We're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff tonight. And I'll be answering your questions as well. But before I go any further, let me kind of get some heads up from all of our helpers. We have some amazing helpers tonight. Chris is here helping us. Jessica, which is Zeke's lovely wife, is here helping us. Let me get some confirmation that we are indeed live and that we have, oh yeah, my lighting. You want to make sure a girl looks good, okay? Let me make sure that we are indeed live on all of our platforms. Let me know, guys. Let's see here. Ask Zeke if he sees us on the. If he sees it. Hold on. Oh, there's Zeke calling. I think we're live on Facebook and YouTube, but I do not see our TikTok. Or I'm not sure if that's supposed to be on there. Okay, we're good. Okay, I just got confirmation that we are good. So we're going to keep going here. Okay, guys. So I'm Lacey Morgan, Chief Operations Officer here at Saddlebrooke. Very excited to be here tonight. Very excited to talk to all of you. Zeke has done an amazing job keeping up with our social community, keeping you guys informed about what we're working on here, inviting you guys to our upcoming open house, which is on February 28th. For those of you who are just joining, I am in Texarkana area. We're in DeKalb, Texas, which is just outside of Texarkana. For those of you who are kind of trying to figure out who is this and where's this modular factory at, we handle East Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, a little bit of Louisiana. And we are connected with sister factories all over the United States. So we really are your modular home experts. So I like to call us the home heroes in some way. So even if you're not in our area, but you're trying to learn a little bit more about the modular process so that you know what to expect, or you're trying to find someone in your area, feel free to ask a question online. We're happy to connect you with the right people. You want to be looking for builders who are involved in associations like the Modular Home Builders Association, which is a nationwide organization that has amazing builders in it. So I'm going to try to answer questions tonight, give you guys a little bit more insight. We're going to talk a little bit more about the investment side of things. If you are a real estate investor, a developer, or you're somebody who's been building a rental portfolio, or maybe you're a wholesaler and you're looking for opportunities to take a piece of land and provide additional improvement to that property so that you can resell it or even turn it into a rental in the future. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that because I work a lot with our investors very closely on their projects. And we're going to talk about some of the projects we have going on, and I'm going to answer some questions as well. So with that, let's start just hopping into some of our listed questions from last week that we are answering tonight. And you guys feel free to drop some in here. Chris, let me know where, if you're getting any live questions, where I could see those. Maybe I need to click show comments. No? Okay. Just let me know what questions you see in Slack, and I will be able to answer them for you. So let's start with a question. Okay. I see a lot of stuff in here about size of homes, what constitutes a modular, what's a mobile home, what kind of financing, all that stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to start by really giving you guys a breakdown of the differences between a mobile home, a modular home, and component construction, which is also a very popular offsite construction. So I'm just going to give you a full lesson. This is something I teach all of our new team members when they come on, because if you work here, you have to know what the differences are. And so I want you to be educated as a consumer as well. So we're going to talk about that. Let me grab my whiteboard. If you ever come visit here at the Saddlebrooke factory, you'll see we actually have a classroom upstairs. We're all about like becoming better, learning more. And so we have a big classroom upstairs where we actually do a lot of our teaching. And so whiteboards are very, very common in our office. And you might walk by a whiteboard and see little drawings on it, because we love when our babies are here. And so all our kids are always drawing all over them. And that's why we have to take notes and take pictures of our notes, because we're going to miss them if we don't take a picture, because the kids are always erasing everything. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about modular homes, mobile homes, and what offsite construction really is and what it's looking like now in our industry, because a lot of things are changing and it's really coming a long way. It's being used in very, very big ways, and I'm going to talk to you about some of those case studies. So, first of all, what I want you to understand is what offsite construction is. Okay, so offsite construction constitutes anything that is built in one place and taken to another. Okay, you may have also heard it called modular construction. The truth is that modular is not a product. It's not a type of house. Same thing with offsite. It's a method of construction. So it's this idea that you can build things in parts and then assemble them in a different place. And actually, it was just so funny. The other day we were looking at, you might have seen like there was like a grill, and it had all these different pieces that you could buy, so you could customize and basically build the perfect outdoor grill for you. And in that case, that's another example of that is a product that is modular constructed. Okay, so modular construction and offsite construction is not a product, it is a method of construction. Now, with that being said, our industry has taken these different words and used them through different marketing and everything else. And so the public has a particular set of ideas about what each one of these items are. And so a lot of times, offsite construction and modular construction has been very, very popular and used for a very, very long time in the Northeast. So we're talking about Pennsylvania, which Pennsylvania is like the heart of the modular construction industry. I think when you think about the number of factories, modular factories, Pennsylvania has one of the highest density of modular factories. And the reason that there's so many in the Northeast and even in Canada and other places is because the building window is so short. So they have very, very harsh winters there. And so they need to be able to build indoors in order to keep production going. And so modular is like very normal there. And there's lots of houses that we built 2-3 stories. Apartment buildings are usually modular. All of these are very normal construction techniques. Now, where we are in the central United States and the southeastern United States, the word modular is often used to refer to a higher end luxury mobile home. And so because, big brands like Clayton, Champion, which they're all great people, we love them, because they utilize that word in their marketing, oftentimes the people kind of have a preconceived notion of exactly what it is that we build. So when I communicate with our customers, when I talk to people, when I talk to code officials, city code officials, investors, anybody in our world or that's learning about what we do, I refer to it as off-site construction. So if you're a builder or you're an investor or even a consumer and you're thinking about putting one of these houses inside city limits, you definitely want to have an expert like myself or like one of our team members that's going to help you through that. And one of the things that we do is, especially when we talk to HOAs, is you want to explain that this is an off-site constructed home. It helps you to not fight an uphill battle because people have, again, that preconceived notion about what a modular home is. And what we want to try to do is refresh in their mind so that when we start to talk about offsite construction, we have the opportunity to truly define what that is, okay? So with that, I want to tell you, we've talked a little bit about offsite construction, and we've talked about modular construction and knowing that they're methods. So let's talk about how those methods are used in the marketplace today. So the offsite construction, one of the most popular and the largest home builder in the United States is, I believe, Clayton Homes, which is a mobile home builder. And so that is going to be a mobile home. And mobile homes have quite a few different names sometimes. And the reason I want to discuss this nomenclature is so that you understand as you are going into the marketplace, because you're going to encounter salespeople, you might go to a sales center, you might go to a factory. It's just important that you really understand all of the different language and the definitions for yourself, because it can get confusing when you're out there in the world. And so I'm going to teach you what questions to ask as you are having these conversations. A mobile home is oftentimes also called a HUD home, okay? And the reason for that is because this is a short acronym that references the Housing and Urban Development Department for the United States. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory on this. So mobile homes up till about 1976 were unregulated. So they were being built in factories all over the United States. And let's just say they weren't being well watched. Okay, so what would happen is some of these houses were being done very fast and they weren't being at the top quality, and so they weren't always safe. And the reason why this was a problem is because oftentimes when people were buying mobile homes, they were putting it in a rural area. And if you live anywhere near a rural area, you understand that we don't have the same type of code enforcement that a city does. That's one of the reasons we want to live out in the middle of the country, is because we like that freedom. So what was happening is you had a lot of mobile homes that were going into regulated areas. So there was never an inspection. There was never any chance for that home to even be checked, right? And so what happened is the federal government sort of looked at this and said, well, if these houses are going into rural areas where there's not city code enforcement, there's no way for us to make sure that these homes are safe. We as a governing body need to sort of take over that industry and really regulate it to make sure that they're building safe homes, which is what we want. And it's ultimately a really good thing. But the reason that they call them HUD homes is because they are regulated by this organization. And so if you ever hear that, you kind of understand what that means. Now, another way to define this when you're talking to someone is if you're asking, hey, is it a mobile home? Is it a double wide? Is it a single wide? Is it a HUD home? And if you're still not quite getting a clear answer, the best way to get a very, very clear definition is to ask, does it have a chassis? Spelling that wrong, probably. Sorry. But does it have a chassis? Because sometimes, even if you ask, does it have wheels? They might say, well, it's on a metal frame and the wheels can be taken out. But even then, it's kind of like, well, it's still considered a mobile home. And until there is until it's set on a permanent foundation, it's still going to have different types of financing and regulations and everything else. So the best way for you to understand is, does it have a chassis? Does it have wheels? And is there a tongue? Like those are kind of going to be your giveaways about like, this is a mobile home. Mobile homes have come a really, really long way. There are some great products out there. In fact, here at Saddlebrook, we not only represent our factory, but we also sell for other factories. So if you are somebody who's like, well, I actually need to do a mobile home for whatever reason, maybe you don't own your property or you're looking to do maybe a chattel loan instead of a mortgage, we can still help you with that. So we get factory direct pricing on all of the mobile homes, from all of the different factories. So if you have any questions, we can tell you the best quality. We would only sell a quality home. So we'll tell you who's the best, reach out anytime. However, here at Saddlebrook, we build a modular home, okay? And oftentimes the factories here that build mobile homes will also build modular, but Generally, the construction method is pretty similar. There may be some small things like they might have taller walls, they may have a higher roof pitch, but they're almost always still going to be on a frame, like a metal frame. That's why you'll sometimes hear them call it an on-frame mod. And it can be, the semantics can get kind of confusing. We'll talk about it a little bit more, okay? So a modular home is what we build here. The biggest giveaway about what a modular home is that it's IRC. So that's International Residential Code. And that means that this home is being built to the same site-built regulation, like the same site-built code if a house was being built like on-site traditionally, right? So all of the same sort of rules apply. We have licensed electricians, plumbers, all that stuff. And our home has a wood subfloor. So we do 2x10 or 2x12 floor joists. It just depends on the size of the home. And so you're going to have floor joists that go like this. And then inside that floor is going to be things like plumbing and drain lines and all kinds of stuff. And this is what's called a subfloor. You'll also hear people call it, when they're referencing the foundation underneath, they'll say, oh, it's going to be a crawl space foundation. And that means the house is going to sit up on like an 18 to 24 inch crawl space underneath the house. So subfloor, crawl space, both of those things are going to be kind of used interchangeably, but they're referencing the same thing. And here's the thing, homes with a crawl space or a subfloor have been built like this for hundreds of years. Like that's how we built houses from the very beginning. So this is very, very common. And the reason our home has a subfloor is because that's where the structure begins. Then we're going to have our walls and our roof and everything else. The home is then transported and that subfloor becomes the base of the home. So with a modular home, the biggest tell to ensure that you're indeed doing a modular home is, does it have just a wood floor? Like we don't even have a metal frame underneath. Everything is wood, okay? We build to IRC code. So that's the biggest way to understand the differences. This is what's most important to me. And this is what I tell all of my customers and all of the people that we work with. No matter whether you buy a mobile home, a modular home, or like any type of, whether it's site built or you, whatever it is that you do, the most important thing is that what does the appraiser think? Okay. The appraiser, when you're doing a traditional construction loan or mortgage, or even if you're buying the house just outright cash, for you, the most important thing is that you're protecting your investment over time. You want that appraiser to look at that home and see it just like a site-built home. All right, so it's very, very important, the on-site facade, the aesthetics, how you choose to set the home up, and what do the porches look like? What do the approaches look like? Do you have concrete patios or do you have wood decks? Do you have vinyl or metal skirting versus a brick or masonry? All of those different things really contribute to the overall outcome of what does that home look like on that piece of property, and what will an appraiser think when they walk up? Because there are people who, like a dealer may sell you a modular home, which will be a mobile home with a $30,000 upgrade. They're going to give you taller walls, a higher ceiling, and maybe they'll take a removable trailer out from underneath it. But overall, the outside aesthetics of that home will still look the same as a mobile home. What that means is you're not going to have, you have usually vinyl siding. You may not have as many, your roof pitch may not be as high. You might not have eaves that kind of hang over, gabled ends, all that stuff. So if an appraiser walks up and you've used vinyl skirting, or maybe no skirting at all, and you can like see through underneath it, like there's just sitting up on blocks, and you haven't done a finishing, like full finishing, even if you paid extra for that to be a modular home, they may still appraise it differently. It may not be what you want in the appraisal. So it's very, very important that you're working with an expert who ultimately has your investment in mind. So it's like, how do we make sure that this home it looks as site built as possible? Because we want this house to appraise for what it should appraise for in the future and right now, because that protects your investment over time. And if you're looking at alternative housing, it's usually not because you're just looking for something cheap, because we already have beautiful, really, really affordable options out there in the world. What you're looking for is to get the most value for your dollar. And so that's why we love working with you. If you ever have questions, we're great people to reach out to, because even if we don't build for you, we can kind of give you the right direction and the right pathway for what your goals are. So that gives you kind of an idea. So ultimately, I don't care how you build the house, because you can even take a mobile home and do amazing things with, you can put a garage next to it. You can build really big porches and a lot of on-site work. And that can appraise like an on-site build. I mean, it can have a high appraisal rate if you do a lot of the site work that really kind of takes it to that next level, that next notch, right? So the construction is important. Modular, you're going to see a little bit more longevity generally from the construction, just because we're using usually higher quality materials, though there are some amazing mobile home manufacturers out there now that are using great materials. We're great friends with them. We're happy to connect you with them if our option or we're not in the right area for you. But this gives you kind of an idea of what this is and how it applies. And the reason why this is important is because, if you're out there, if you're a realtor, if you're someone who is looking to buy one of these homes, or you're an investor, or you're a city code official, I'm telling you right now, these homes are coming to your backyard. We've seen developments happen just outside of Austin, where when you walk up to that house, there's no way that you could ever tell that it was built inside of a factory. I mean, it's got a 2-car garage built on site. It's got beautiful approaches. It looks just like a D.R. Horton or a Lennar home just built right there, right? And they all look kind of the same, but they're beautiful, great starter homes. And so you're going to see this happening more and more in your cities. And you need to know about it. You need to understand what exactly it is. Another thing that we see in offsite construction is component construction. So component construction is the idea that you can take walls and different pieces, have them assembled near a development or near a build site, and then bring it and assemble things very quickly. And all of those options, they're great, they're innovative, and they're amazing for this industry. It's hard to believe that we've been building houses for 50 years or hundreds of years, and nothing's changed, right, in the last 50. I used to make this joke, like, imagine if you bought a brand new F-150 from the dealership and they said, okay, great. And then they spent the next 6 months building it in your driveway and sending different crews out there to assemble it. You'd be like, what? This is crazy, right? Like, why would we do it? Like, doesn't make sense. That we're still doing houses like that, guys. Like, we're still building houses that way. And so it's to me, I love seeing innovation inside of our industry. Of course, Saddlebrooke to me is the very best out in the market, especially in Texas, Central United States. We're the best. But there's a lot of great products out there and a lot of great innovation. And so it's a very exciting time for everyone. And I really think that this is a sort of silver lining and a little bright light of hope for those of you who are interested in home ownership. We've been told by everyone around us that our children may never be able to own homes because of the cost of living and, the housing shortage. We're something like 7 million homes short right now in inventory. And so, what we're doing with modular, what we're doing with offsite construction, it really is the thing that is going to change. And it's this kind of the secret that nobody knows about. And we're seeing more and more people use it. So it's very, very exciting time. Okay, so I see a question here from Sheila, so I'm going to answer that really quickly. Sheila asks, can you put a loan on your land for a house? Absolutely. So Sheila, this, let me give you guys a breakdown of kind of what a construction loan looks like. And I'm going to give you an idea of what this, because not everyone's bought a home or has done a construction loan. And the fact is even when you're buying a modular home, the construction loan process is exactly the same. So I'm going to lay this out for you really quick. But yes, I think they're all locked out because the door codes won't work. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about a construction loan. Generally, when you have a piece of land, whether you have bought it or you found it and you plan to buy it, the process is very similar. It's very much the same. And so if you are a expert loan officer, don't come after me. This is not financial advice. I'm just telling you my perspective as a builder. This is kind of what the construction and mortgage loan process looks like for us and our customers. Okay. So you're going to find your land, right? And then you're going to go to the bank, and the bank is going to ask for a couple of things. They're going to ask for a survey, and they're going to want to see that this piece of land that you have is in your name. Okay, it has to be in your name or whoever's going to be buying the home. So if it's you and your husband, or if maybe it's your mom's place, you need to make sure mom's the one buying the house. Like whoever is buying the house has to have the same name on the survey. Okay, so oftentimes we work with people who are buying family land. And so dad will have given them like 3 or 4 acres. They'll bring it to us and they're like, we want to build a house. And we're like, awesome. One of the things that you have to do is you have to have a little bit of that property deeded into your name. You can do it with a quick claim deed and you get it in your name. Once we get it in your name, now we can start to do some loaning. All right. So you're going to get a survey. It needs to be in your name. Okay. Then the next thing that they're going to do is they want you to send them a floor plan and a specification sheet. And this is why it's so important to get in touch with us, because this is where we kind of help you through this process. So you're going to pick and select your floor plan that's within the budget that you want to be in, right? And we're going to look at that floor plan, and we're also going to pull the specifications sheet. A specifications sheet is all of the stuff that is included inside that home. That's all the materials we're going to use. It's a materials list. So the floor plan and the specification sheet is then going to be sent to the banker for a appraisal, okay? And they're going to actually appraise what you intend to build on this land way before we actually build it, all right? And there's reasons for that. We want to make sure that what you are looking to purchase is going to appraise for the value that you need it to on that property. Otherwise, you're not going to want to build that, right? So they're going to order an appraisal. Once they're done ordering the appraisal, they may also ask for something called a plot plan. These are all things that don't let it overwhelm you. That's why you need a home expert, okay? So they're going to ask you for a plot plan. This is going to be something that sort of itemizes out on the survey. Where is it that you're going to be putting your septic tank? Where is your water? Where is the house going to sit? Where's the driveway? Okay. Because remember that the lender who is lending on this house, this is partly theirs as well, right? They are taking the risk on the loan. They want to know, hey, where are you putting the house? They want to ensure that you're not putting it right on a property line. And so sometimes they often want you to kind of show them on a survey, where is everything going to be, so that they can make sure that it meets all of the requirements. Okay. So once you get all of these things together, also, if you're working with our bank, this process is very, very fast, and our bank can actually get you pre-approved. So even before you come in to look at floor plans, because it's hard to know what house to look at and what floor plans to pick if you don't really know your buying power. So for a lot of you who are watching this, the first step for you is actually to get pre-approved. Now, I would say only to do that if you're in our service area and you know that you're going to want to work with us. But you would get pre-approved. That's going to tell you what you can actually afford. And that helps you know when you come in which direction to go. Okay, so you can do that. You don't have to, but we highly suggest getting pre-approved before you come in. So they're going to take all of this stuff and they're going to judge the value of that home. And they're going to say, okay, thank you so much, Sheila. We're excited for you to have your home. We're going to loan you the money, and we're going to give you something called a construction loan. Okay. A construction loan is short term. It's usually interest only, meaning you're not ever paying on the principal. You're paying only the interest rate. And that's how the bank and the lender makes money. They make money on letting you borrow money, right? So what they're going to do is we are actually going to put all of the money from this construction loan that you've been approved on, and we're going to put it into an escrow account. Okay. This is a account that is going to give us draws, and we're only going to draw on it when construction begins. And we do our draws just like a site builder. So if some of you who've built houses before, you're hearing me right now and you're like, I know exactly what she's talking about. I have totally done that before. If you've ever done a home before, you're going to know. We're going to get our initial draw is going to be 30%. And we're going to begin construction. And this is my favorite part. Okay. This is my favorite part. So Jessica, who is come here, Jessica, come here. I got to show everybody. Yes. See, this is our beautiful Jessica. She's so wonderful. And she takes such good care of you. So she's actually going to be the one. So just wave at me. She's running the camera for me right now. Thank you. So she actually will go into a group chat with you and your banker and any of the other people that you might need. and she will keep you updated through every step of the construction process. So she's going to actually text you. You get to see updates every single day. And so as the house is being built, when we get to about halfway, we're going to ask for another 30% draw. Okay. And then after that, the house is almost ready for delivery. We're going to ask for another 30%. And then once the home has reached its destination, we're going to ask for the last 10%. Okay. During this process, there's inspections, there's soil tests, there's all kinds of things that go on that are ordered from the bank and that we do as a factory. And so I won't get into that because this is really boring, but that's the boring stuff. But the point is this is, again, why you want to work with a professional, because we really hold your hand through this entire process. So you're never in a position where you're like, okay, what do I do next? We will take you through the whole thing. And the really cool thing about our lender is we do a one-time close, which means that whatever you get approved for and whatever your appraised value, everything is considered upfront in the loan. With some other construction loans, you will have a construction loan and then you have to wait until the house is set up. And guess what they're going to do? Order another appraisal, because they want to see, indeed, what did we say, and build the house that we said we were going to build? Does it truly appraise for what we thought it would be appraising for? They'll do another appraisal. They're going to do another credit check. So if anything has happened during this period of time, that can affect your overall interest rate. They're going to do another credit check. They're going to do all of this stuff. And then they're going to finally turn it into a full mortgage, where it's like, okay, here's your 30-year mortgage. They're going to give you a mortgage rate, all of that stuff. Our lender is so used to working with us. He knows how great we are. We can do a one-time close, which means we only have to do this process one time. We don't have to do it again after construction. And our lender is amazing because we can do things like buying down your rates. So I had a customer the other day. We were able to get them 4.75%, and they had less than perfect credit. And these are the kinds of things that we are really excited about being able to bring those offers. And this is a completely independent banker. You'll work directly with them, and you guys might want to check them out anyway. Even if you're out of our service area and you're not intending to buy from us, they're still a great lender, and they do on-site builds, mobile homes, modulars. So they're great people. So feel free to reach out if you're interested in that. Okay. So with that, let me see if we have any more questions. Hold on, let me see. Chris is our amazing coordinator. She's behind the scenes. She gave me this whole thing of stuff, but I'm trying to see. Okay, somebody asked, is the listed price the selling price, or is there a delivery charge? Okay, so, people always, they want like a clean number. You want to know like, okay, it is what it is. And that's really what's great about Saddlebrooke, because when you come in and when you work with us, we're going to get you all the information up front. So you're able to make a decision. There's no hidden costs that you're unaware of. Generally, we have free delivery within 150 miles. Outside of that, there's a per mile cost, and it just sort of depends. So the best thing for you to do is to just reach out and say, hey, look, this is my area. This is where I'm going to be planning on putting our home. And we can take a look at that for you and see right where you're going to be. But you'll definitely know the cost. For us, anytime somebody reaches out to us, our goal is to leave no stone unturned. You should never leave here with more questions than you came in with. Does that make sense? If you've ever been to like another place where you went to learn about mobile modular homes, and most people go to a mobile home dealer, and unfortunately they don't necessarily have all of the information for you because they don't do them that often, right? They don't specialize in that. And so, it sucks because you're kind of like, I thought I understood, but now I'm actually a little more confused. That's not going to be the case here at Saddlebrooke. We're going to make sure you know everything you need to know to make the best decision for you. Okay. So let's take a look here at some of our other questions. Okay. Does Saddlebrooke handle land preparation? Okay. This is one of the coolest things. So we are your full service builder. I mean, we are just like working with a general contractor. If you were to hire us we would handle everything. We would do your soil tests. We would do your foundation. We would do every part, every aspect. And we still do that. But what's very, very cool is because most of our customers are people who live in rural areas. Maybe they, we have a lot of people who are retired from the trades, so they still maintain their licensing and they have their own ability. Like they want to build their own porch or whatever it may be. And they want to do a little bit of DIY on their own. And that's really cool for us too. So we can be as fractional to your project or as on hand as you need. We're extremely capable. We have a great team that handles all of that. And so we can absolutely help you with land preparation. We can help you with your foundation. We can help you obviously with your setting your home. And then any of the extras like the approaches, your porches, underpinning, all of those things are very important and we can be with you the whole way. Okay. Awesome. Let me see if we have any more questions. Okay, so someone's asking, do these homes come with a land package? Okay, so actually, we do have several properties all across East Texas and a few in Arkansas where we can actually sell you our home and that piece of property. So if you are looking for a land home package and you're like, I know I want to work with you guys, but I haven't found my land yet, reach out to us. Let's start that relationship because oftentimes we know where great off-market deals are. We know where on-market deals are. We can help you sort of facilitate and bring the deal together. So if you are looking for land home, we're here to help you with that. And here's something else I would tell you. When you find the property that you love, you want to reach out to us. And in fact, if you can get ahead of your land purchase and get with our lender ahead of time, it's even better because you want to package that land purchase and your home purchase at the same time. I see a lot of my clients who will oftentimes have bought land ahead of time and done a lot of the improvements. Like they'll have added a septic tank, they'll have done a well, and all of these things just soak up all of their cash when they could have used a low interest mortgage to do all of that, if that would have been their preference. But a lot of them just didn't know that they could do all of that. They thought they had to buy the land, pay it down, and then they could get a house. But actually you can do the whole thing into one package. So get pre-approved if you can. With a lender, find your builder, then find your land. That's the best order to do things. And we want to be a part of that process for you. So if that's what you're doing right now, definitely reach out. Okay. Oh, Sheila says, where do I sign up? I hope you work in Arkansas. Absolutely. We work in Arkansas. Actually, a big part of our crew is in Mena just today. So we love Arkansas. And the best way for you to reach out would be to just text me. I'm about to put my phone number on the internet. Don't tell my husband. He would not be happy about that. Okay. But my phone number is 405-431-7261. So I'll add that. I don't know if I'm allowed to post it as a comment. Guys, Zeke does this so much better than me, but I'm going to try. So hang in there. 7261. Again, 405-431-7261. You can just shoot me a quick text. Let me know who you are. And then we can set up a call for tomorrow and we can talk a little bit more about your project and I can give you as much information as possible. And we'll see if your area is in our area and we'd be happy to talk more. Okay. Let me add that in there. All right, guys. So this has been a very, very exciting night. I do want to give you guys just a couple of updates about Saddlebrook and a few things that you need to know before I leave. Okay, so first of all, if you are a builder, a general contractor, or a builder or general contractor, be sure to tag them below, send them my information because we work every day. We're onboarding new builders who are actually buying our homes at wholesale and putting these homes out in their own projects. And it's been a great experience for them. And we want to work with more of you guys. We also work with a lot of developers and investors. So if you are somebody who's in the real estate investment space, or you're a developer and you've been looking for alternative construction, you need to reach out to me. We're working on a project that's going to be like a 3-story apartment complex in Shreveport. We've got another project where we're doing 30 units outside of Stillwater. The new Google factory is coming in and they needed units there so they could build up their rental portfolio. We are the fastest answer. Why? Because they can do the horizontal. So if you're a builder, you're able to do all of the horizontal. That's your dirt work, your foundation work, all of that while we're building the house. And that compresses timelines. And you guys know if you're borrowing money to build, You need that timeline to be as compressed as possible because we want to save on interest. We don't want to pay a lot of interest. Plus, if it's a rental thing, we want to get those places rented up so we can start making money right away. So if you're somebody who's looking to do that, you want to learn more about what does it look like to work with us on the commercial side of things, you need to reach out. Again, my phone number is 405-431-7261. And you can send me a text. We can set up a call, show you some of our current projects and some of the things that we're working on very, very soon. And yeah, we'd love to meet you and connect. And I think there's a lot of opportunity together. You know, we believe our core values is that we're Christ-centered. You know, we believe in excellence. We want to give people more of a shot at home ownership. And I think all of you feel that same way. And that's why you've joined this live tonight. So thank you guys for being here. We love you. And I know you guys are going to be so excited to see Zeke next week. So good night, guys. Thanks for being here.